India.
talks the talks the Israeli National Security Advisor had with the White House earlier in the week apparently reduced anxiety in Jerusalem
ELUG
about
and
more U.S.
AMZN
concessions.
plugged
Just to make you
power,
aware, it's
and
possible
Amazon
again.
signed green hydrogen
This is the
agreement.
first time some of the U.S.
Hello from
Direct
Chicago
American military
traders.
helps
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. Chicago
Gaza
time
with
on Thursday, the 25th of August, 2022. This is episode number 2301. Thanks for joining me this morning on this broadcast. I want to remind you that derivatives trading is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Thank you so much for the mic check. The Convergent Trading Pre-Market Summary Sheet shows a mild risk on. However, the market has come off a fair amount from the highs earlier when the sheet was created. We're basically at a mixed market currently. Most products, except for the Nasdaq, well, across the board we've come off. The Dow quite a bit from the overnight high. Same with the Russell, and we're now still mildly risk on, but a little less so. Really, not much news flow. There's not much to say other than China continues to stimulate under the covers. The German IFO business climate number for August came in at 88.5 versus 86.7. The prior is 88.7. So pretty strong. And then we got the unemployment benefit claims out of France, not a major number. We got GDP growth rate Q on Q, second estimate Q2, which seems like an important number, but it really isn't a mover. Came in at negative 0.6%, better than the negative 0.9% expected. Initial claims came in at 243, much better, 243,000, much better than the 267 expected. The prior's 245. Nothing on the calendar for the rest of the day. Really, Jackson Hole. The symposium starts today. We are still all holding our breath for what Jay Powell's going to say tomorrow. So pretty important. And then in terms of key earnings, we had Dollar General. Dollar General announced pre-market. That's the biggest player. Also, TD Bank and Dollar Tree. After the market, the big announcement is Dell Technologies. Dell is expected at $1.64 per share, $26.55 billion in revenue for Q2. That's really it. There's just very little to say here. The S&P is in a multi-distribution auction this morning. Pretty good price discovery. We've had 44.75 points of range, and the inventory is 100% long, 100% long. The low is right against what I was using basically as support yesterday at 44. The low is at 43 even. The point of control shifted up to 41.80. So it's shifted up quite a bit from the prior sessions. This looks like an attempt to reverse to the upside. Nothing outstanding about the volume or the range this morning. The range is pretty decent. We are most likely going to see some pretty good rotations. The crude oil is trading at $95. It's holding steady. It's in complete balance. Crude just sitting sideways, digesting all of this Iran news and what's going to happen with oil flow from OPEC plus, but really not much to add there. I don't want to review yesterday's video because there wasn't much that was suggested. So, going to dig right in this morning and talk about where we are. So this is what we've done. So as discussed, we have consolidated, we broke down, and on the breakdown, we were expecting 41.21, right? 41.21. we got down into, boom, 41.21 basically got taken yesterday. Short a tick. The low yesterday was 41.21 and a quarter. We bounced right off of the 41.21 back into balance, back into this range, and then consolidated into the close. Pretty non-eventish trading yesterday, in my opinion. And then this morning, we've popped higher and above these highs. So we are trading above the 41.60. Let's bring the extended data in. Here's what's happened this morning. Pretty good lifting. You could see the big lot trades right there. Pretty good lifting this morning. Moving away from the 41.60. Expected a pullback to the 41.60. Got that almost on the nose. Consolidated at the next key area up, 41.71. Nice little stock zone tag there. And then looking weak. So right now, we are underneath the overnight point of control, which has shifted just recently up there to 41.80. We're underneath full session VWAP, and we're underneath the full session mid. So even though on a day-to-day basis, we're skewing positive within itself intraday for the session, it is it's a little bit weak. We consolidated pretty tightly in the upper distribution, and we find ourselves at the lower distribution. So this morning, that 41.71, 41.74 area is going to be important. This zone right here, which represents the low volume node, we'll call it 71.74. This will be your immediate line in the sand, in my opinion. If it's not able to get up above 71 and push through the 74, then we are likely to fall back into balance, and then we are likely to go back to yesterday's settlement and so on and so forth. So we're likely to push down into 41.43 is what it looks like. So that's the biggest thing I can give you this morning. Looking at the relative delta, really pretty flat. Again, really strong lifting this morning, right at the European Open. Boom, just takes off. Really strong lift there. Pretty decent. We had some participation by very, very large lots. We had participation by large lots, and we definitely had most of the participation was small lot trading, but it's in the overnight session. And since then, it has petered out, and it is moving towards the zero line with the very large lots selling back to where they started from. The very large lots started down here, and now they're a little bit lower. So to me, it looks like that break higher is not likely to sustain itself. So we have an opening where there are two narratives in play at the same time, where we're likely to see some pretty good rotations right at the open. We may open, depending on where we are here, it looks like we're opening inside just on the edge, the upper edge of yesterday's range. And so what that does is it creates this opportunity for an open auction. So here's yesterday's high, 61.75. Here's where we are now. So we're opening inside of the prior day's range. The prior day was somewhat balanced. So if we pull up the prior day, somewhat balanced, but really I would not lean on value high and so on. I would if so. Here's the key scenario. The key scenario is it's opening on the edge of the prior range. If buyers don't come in, push into that 71.74, hold it there for a moment so that they continue to squeeze the 41.80 to tag the overnight point of control and start pushing back to 4,200, then sellers are really motivated here to step in and push down. So we have a pretty big gap zone. I think the gap zone is 41.80 to 42.20, something like that. Pretty sizable gap. We've come into the gap a little bit. The gap mid is 4,200. So if we don't get an immediate push into 71.74 that consolidates and then takes over that 41.80, this is very likely to sell, and we are likely to see an internal gap to settlement trade right back into the yesterday's point of control and back into yesterday's settlement. This is how we're set up this morning. We're setting up to return to the 41.40. What's the settlement price? Let me see. I can't read it from this chart. Hang on. Just need to expand the chart. Settlement's 41.4275. 41.4275. So that's right here. So the trade for me this morning is, I'm going to leave this, keep this trader bite super short. The trade for me this morning, the primary, see if I can get the colors right. Man. The trade for me this morning, open auction in range right on the edge. Look for it to dip. The dip will be the continuation of this move down. Look for it to dip, respond, get out of the prior day's range is 41.6175. Make an attempt at the 41.71, but if it fails to hold, then we are looking for a settlement test. So in that case, expecting it back at 42.75, unchanged on the day. This is what I'm looking for as my primary scenario. The secondary scenario is a show of strength. Open auction, pops down, you get your impulse out of range, pulls back, mid, full session mid, gets into the 71, 74, consolidates here in the low volume node, filling this in a little bit, and then gets to 41.80, and this opens the door for 4,200 on the upside. That's if buyers are still here. In my opinion, there's a really good chance that we're still inside of that. Remember, the 41.75 is the upper boundary of this balance range. The balance range is 41.75 down to 40.75, and we are right here. So there's a massive magnet down here at 41.22 at this point. 41.22, and I'm seeing this play as the most likely play. A move right back into the 2 days of balance. The third day was balance-ish, but the last couple of days, 2 days of balance, and I'm looking for it to come right back into that balance and get attracted right into yesterday's trading and settle down here in the middle. That's what I'm expecting this morning. That's the key play for the day. Here's the bigger picture. There we've switched colors. So there's the massive gap. We've moved down, then we've moved down even lower, and then yesterday we continued one-time framing down, and it looks like we are reversing that one-time framing down, but I'm expecting it to attempt to push higher. So I'm expecting yesterday's high to be taken at 41.6162, but ultimately it is likely to push right back into this fat part. I'm not expecting it to run away. Crude, on the other hand, one-time framing up. Crude has really extended its neck quite a bit. At this point, the higher highs are getting weaker. Crude is driven by news currently. There's some news about Israel's security advisor versus what the U.S.'s position is, and all this on Iran. And then whatever Iran produces, OPEC plans to absorb in the form of lower production to maintain these higher prices. So crude, if anything, is likely to shift back into the 93. If it is unable to continue, is likely to shift into the 93 and turn around. Crude, the most recent high in crude is right here in the 95, 90, 96 area. So I'm expecting crude to kind of slow its roll, even though it is one-time framing up and it's doing a good job discovering higher prices. It does have some weaker structures down below based on the news, but overall, it's likely to kind of pull back to attract those buyers. That's what I'm looking for today. Those are the two key pieces. I want to remind you, and invite you to sign up by going to edgeclear.com/deli for next Wednesday's show, Futures Radio Show with Anthony Crudelli. We're going to have Scott Andrews on. Scott's a long time trader and entrepreneur, and he trades systematically, and we're going to be talking about man versus machine as a panel and having a back and forth discussion as to what the advantages are of trading automatically or running an automated system while trading discretionarily or replacing discretionary trading with automated trading. So I expect that there's going to be a lot of wisdom exchanged. And of course, EdgeClear is giving away 3 of these drones next week to the winners that are picked live. And to sign up to be a contestant for those drones, go to edgeclear.com/deli and then watch the show to see if your name gets drawn. Again, edgeclear.com/deli. And then, of course, I invite you to, if you haven't, to subscribe to the channel, to my channel. Find the subscription button or go to ft71.com/subscribe. And to subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is free. And, of course, to like today's broadcast. Be cognizant of getting emotionally tied to your trades. Be aware when you are trading outside of any setups having shown up. Be patient and keep your powder dry. Keep your account value high for what's coming. Good luck.
Seeing some commentary from Fitch Ratings says the sharp falls in gas flows suggest that Russia is prepared to use gas exports as a political tool.